word of caution to those looking to start blasting the tendons. I've been on a quest for the strongest tendons in the land for a long time now. Pretty much ever since I got into martial arts, I was like, dude, tendon strength is everything, right? Um, I remember wrestling dudes that weigh like, you know, fucking 120 pounds. Look like a damn string bean. With a couple of biceps, but they would just kill you. And it was all tendon strength, dude. They were wiry, just wiry little bastards. And they had unreal strength and flexibility. And it was like everything they did to you, every movement they made was just like fast twitch, fucking just hurt. You know what I mean? Oh, man. There's even a guy who I found out recently has a YouTube channel now, which is pretty fucking cool. I think his name is Kevin Lee. I could be wrong. But I took some Wing Chun from this guy a long ass time ago. I think like 2010 or something. Same thing. Guy, really, I mean, he probably weighed like man, maybe even less than these tiny little jiu-jitsu and wrestler guys I was messing with. Tiny guy, 5'2". You know what I mean? Fucking, I don't know, 115 pounds maybe. And this dude could punch like a motherfucker. Like he was so powerful. And I think just all again, it's not muscle so much as it is the freaking small freaking soft tissue like joints, tendons, stuff like this. They were just so well conditioned, and he could just build a really tough frame and fire it off quickly, you know. Martial arts is all about framing yourself against your opponent, and like creating these little structures biomechanically in your body and shit. And that's not to say that muscle doesn't matter. Obviously, if you get a guy who, has muscle on top of very strong tendons, it's gonna be a lot more powerful. But I was very into staying lean. Like my archetype, my ideal was to look like Bruce Lee, right? I wanted to be, light, keep it around maybe 160 pounds, you know what I mean? So I can be fast, but also just be fucking powerful and stay within that kind of weight class. And when I was a kid and I was watching UFC, I was like a teenager as it was kind of growing in popularity, and they showed like reruns on Spike TV and shit. In my mind, I was like, dude, I want to be a 155-pound UFC champion. You know what I mean? Of course, I realized real quick that that was fucking stupid and not gonna happen. You really gotta start these things very young and not when you're like 18 like I did. But yeah, man, that was my ideal, and so I kind of just learned all I could about tendon strength. I read a lot of gymnastics books and stuff, and watched tons of videos, and read articles and blogs and vlogs, and everything. Everything really kind of led to a couple of things that I'm still into today. Okay, isometrics, eccentrics, and just a fuck ton of body weight stuff. Putting yourself in compromised extreme positions. Okay. One thing I really messed with for a while and finally kind of achieved the ultimate form of during the COVID lockdown was the back lever. I told myself I'd do a back lever when I was relatively young, but I could do it on a bar, right? And when you're on a bar, you can't flip your hands around, they stay static. It's a lot easier. But with rings, that was a lot harder. So I taught myself how to do the false grip, freaking back lever, putting all, I mean, pretty much your whole body weight is on like your biceps tendons. brutal, brutal. I mean, I'm talking about I would train it once a week for months and months until I finally got it. But literally, for a day or two after every session, I could barely lift my fucking arms. You know what I mean? So here's the cautionary tale and kind of the point of the video. If you want to train like this, do the back levers, do the all these extreme kind of like eccentrics and isometric positions, putting your joints and tendons and all these compromised positions, extreme knees over toes stuff like the sissy squats, extreme eccentrics like the freaking, what do you call them, Nordic curls that I've been doing. If you want to start grinding on this stuff, it will get you really fucking strong, but you got to realize you're gonna be crippled for a few days, a few days afterward, especially when you're starting off. I mean, I think, golly, when I first started doing a bunch of gymnastics holds with a friend of mine, shout out to Brad David and freaking Adventure Athlete Training System. Dude, we were sore. We were so fucking sore, man. We would hold all these like isometrics. We got this gymnastics manual. I think it was by oh man, what's this guy's fucking name? It was a gymnastics bodies guy. That was like a U.S. national team coach, Christopher Sommers. I believe was his name. We were doing all these positions, man, and we just worked ourselves to death until we got like the nastiest elbow tendonitis. And we couldn't do shit for months. I mean, we were in so much pain. So you gotta be careful with this kind of training. Don't grind it forever. I found that like once a week is completely sufficient and probably the correct amount, unless you're like some genetic freak or you're very young and you're going through puberty or you're on fucking steroids or something. You gotta, if you're just a regular person, you know what I mean? Once a week is how you should train this shit, you know? Because you're gonna be sore as fuck and you're doing damage. It's micro tears essentially to the tendons and maybe even to the joints a little bit. Okay, so that shit has to have a good amount of time to heal. Okay, make sure your diet is very anti-inflammatory. My favorite thing is I put some turmeric and some black pepper in my freaking protein shakes after my workouts when I do this stuff. Okay, that's really anti-inflammatory, very good for you. Sometimes if I, feel like I go overboard and I know I'm gonna have like insane DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, I'll even put like an emergency powder in my protein shake. That's all kinds of vitamins. It's like a bomb of vitamin C, so that kind of stuff really helps. Obviously, drink a lot of water, eat your freaking leafy greens, stuff like that. And yeah, get enough protein, obviously. Go for walks, do some like active recovery activities, get the blood flowing a little bit. Don't just sit on your ass for a whole week and then expect to do well your next session. You gotta do other stuff too. And you can, of course, like I'm doing now. I'm still doing. I'm not really doing the back levers anymore, but I'm doing the L sit skin the cats, which is very similar and puts a lot of stress on the bicep tendons. And that shit wrecks me. I was doing those twice a week. Now I'm only doing them once a week because I'm starting to get better at them and getting into like harder positions. Um, yeah, man, you can do that. One day. You know, destroy your freaking biceps, and then the next day do something to destroy your hamstrings. Then the next day do something to do whatever the fuck, I don't know, do some ab rollouts and fuck up your abdominal muscles. Stuff like that. That's another good one, by the way, if you want some really fucking strong abs. Ab rollouts, man. Again, anything that is focused on where the eccentric, the lowering and stretching of the muscle. Okay, when that phase of the movement is the most under load, the most intense, that's when you're gonna get crazy results, man. You're gonna have all kinds of fucking ab muscles from that. So yeah, you can kind of do it like that, man. Just like fuck up a different body part each day, but give yourself like a week. If you're training intensely, like some people, they'll fucking dabble in this stuff and they're not training like to death, but I prefer to fucking destroy myself. Like literally after those sister squats yesterday, I could barely fucking walk. My wife tried to fucking hug me, put a little bit of her weight on me, kind of leaned on me. I was like, oh, I almost like fucking fell over. You know what I mean? Because I was so damn sore and fucked up from that. You know, of course, I got a good night's sleep. You know, had a good, dinner, had a good second dinner. Woke up feel relatively normal. I'm kind of used to this process by now. I'm not sore for many many days anymore. But I am freaking. I feel tired and a little beat up for sure. But I'm not like It used to be, and you're gonna feel this if you're just starting out, man. Probably up to 4 5 days. It used to be I'd do those sissy squats, man, and I'd literally be walking around with a fucking stick, like a cane, like an old ass man for a few days. That's just how it is, man. Just the nature of the process. You gotta remodel your fucking tendons and joints, guys, and you're stretching them out, putting those under load. It's very unusual stuff. So that's my kind of word of warning. Like, expect to be very sore. I think you should be sore if you're training, with an appropriate intensity that's going to actually be a good stimulus of training that'll make the fucking changes necessary to progress through the training. So it's a necessary process, but again, maybe if you have like a very physical job, take it easy with stuff. If you're like me or just a fucking guy that does office work, it doesn't fucking matter. Go ham. But if you're doing any kind of physical labor job, you know what I mean, where you have to put your body through some shit during the day, you might not want to fucking crush your knees on a fucking Monday and then go to work on a Tuesday, and you're kind of fucked. So that's my advice basically. So y'all take it easy. Um, yeah, man. Have fun. Keep grinding out there. Have a good one. If you have any questions, let me know. Peace out, y'all.